All right, let's go. So here we are. We are going to talk about how women docs, 4 ways women docs can find focus, support, and how to change this world. 4 ways we can do it, right? So this is our summer challenge. We've been doing a little bit each week. This is the last week of the challenge. So go ahead, put in the comments like how to go for you, any learnings, anything, you've shared with other women docs, the best part of the challenge. Go ahead and put that in the comment or go ahead and put it in our private community if you're in FreshPath MD. Okay, why do connections matter? We've been going over this for the last 4 levels of this challenge because there's a huge study, one of the longest studies, and it showed really when people live a full, fulfilling, happy, satisfying life, the most important things, connections. But yet in our work culture, a lot of times we learn, work hard, stay isolated, don't talk to people, get your stuff done, lock everyone else out. At least that's a lot of times what I heard or perceived in the culture. Um, it's not right. I mean, the study really shows we need each other. We're social humans, right? And so let's go over the little things, the small actions that have big benefits. They're hidden strategies to get that wonderful feeling of feeling brighter, feeling lighter, feeling connected to people, finding people that you have fun with, really finding people you want to hang out with, finding people that are renewing that make you feel great when you chat with them. So we've looked at small little actions to build these, and it's okay if you don't have a lot of good friends right now. That happens. I was in a meeting. I was at Brave Enough. I was running, like a breakout group, but it was great. And there was a young doc there. She's like, I don't have friends. I don't have friends. I work hard. I think she worked in the emergency room. She had a little kid. She's like, I don't have time for friends. And that's, the decision she made. And we were all like, we'll be your friend. And so we just have to acknowledge that culture is the thing. It's kind of hard to put your finger on, but it's the messages that you hear. It's almost like an iceberg, right? So the culture, some of it you see, and some of it's very deep. And it's the actions that we take. It's the messages that we're being told, sometimes by action, sometimes literally by words. I find it very hard to, kind of pick out the culture because it can be hard to define. But, my mom's always said, like, your actions speak louder than words. And so, what are people doing? If they say, like, we're the kind of environment, we're the team, it's going to take care of you, but yet they're talking behind your back or not including you in things, their actions speak louder than words. And so let's talk about how to focus, how to find support that really renews us, and how to change the world, right? I mean, that's all we want to do is just use our skills to change the world. So these little micro actions matter. So week 1, we talked about how these tiny connections matter, how small interactions throughout our week really matter for our well-being. Those we need to build our support through these tiny actions. We ask people, how are you doing? And sit and wait for the response. Or you see someone you want to do an act of kindness and bring them a little treat or send them a thank you note or something. These small little moments can help us feel encouraged, supported, less alone. A lot of docs are isolated because you work so hard. You put your head down, like, as they say, you grind at work, like you just get your work done. So what could we do? We talked about sending a quick text, just thanking someone, or even I'm just thinking of you. I called someone recently because she's was born in Egypt, and I saw the Egyptian soccer team was in Cleveland, so I was calling her, and it was so fun just to talk about it. And all the fans were there, and it was very exciting. And so it was just a nice connection point. It didn't take me long, and I was thinking of her, and it was just great to connect with her. Just sharing something funny, just giving someone a little joy in their day, take a little walk or walk with someone at work, a little lunch walk sometimes, or just, quick little time to connect. Or maybe you're going to share a win. I find a lot of people are very comfortable, including me, sharing challenges, but sharing the big things. Like I just won an award, and it's hard for me to share it because I'm thinking it's the culture that just told me, like, you just keep that to yourself, because it's bragging. We don't want to brag. Or maybe you haven't seen someone in a long time and you can just reach out to them, right? Okay. And then week two was really talking about our focus because our attention is everything we have, right? Our attention is priceless. And there is something called the attention economy. And so we know that people are trying to grab our attention on our phones. I have my two phones over here, just knocking on our doors, paging us, calling us. So everyone's trying to take our focus, but we have to do everything we can to focus when something is really important to us, to set our daily focus, to set our weekly focus, to look at our calendar and say, like, what's in our calendar? Is it what's important to us? Okay, so protect your focus like it's gold because it is. And we went over a checklist with that one. And then week three, our support, who's around us, who cares for us, who do we care for, who do we support as a mentor, as a sponsor, as a leader, as a team member. Support sustains our impact. So it keeps us going, right? You don't have to do it alone. That's what we learned in week three. We really can strengthen our relationships and build and do projects together. It's just way more fun to do things together. And we have a checklist for that too. Okay. And then here we are, week four, week four. And so we talked a lot about, how important it is to focus, how important it is to build your support for ourselves. It's okay to know that you need support because feeling isolated is not an optimal brain state, right? We want to make sure we feel supported. People know what we need. We're helping them, they're helping us. It's just that circle of support. Because when you reach out to somebody, because some people will say, "Oh, I'm so sorry to bother you," but it doesn't bother me. Most of the time, when someone's asking for help, it just depends on the moment or what they're asking for. And the other thing I learned is don't say yes in the hallway. So if someone asks you for something, to be a mentor, to be a sponsor, you can think about it a little bit or get more information. But who's your support team? I learned from a wonderful professor at Weatherhead, Dr. Richard Boyatzis, says like maybe you're here, but you want to go here. So you have to build people to help you go to your ideal self, like to get closer to your goals. And he called that your support team. We've done that in Brain Fresh. We've created accountability groups, a WAG group. We call it the Women Accountability Group. So that's been really fun. And it works. So when we had accountability groups, people were getting things done because we said it out loud, we set goals, we made tiny goals, like little things that we can do to cross the river, little steps that we can take to get closer to our goals, our ideal self, or whatever our goal might be. We have to have tactics to get to the goal. And so this week, we're building our support system. Who's on the support system? Now, Dr. Boyatzis, in his book called Resonant Leadership, recommended, and Anna McKee is also one of the authors. They recommended about 5 people. So, not a huge team, and people that will be honest with you. So, if you're going to have your best friend who just never challenges you, that's not a great person, or at least not the only person you want on your growth team. You want to make sure that you have people who will be honest with you, maybe that are a few steps ahead of you, will support you on that journey, right? If you're here, but you want to get here, you need people to help you along the way. So we want to build that support team for a goal that you have. So each goal, you really probably need your own growth team for that particular goal. And so we want to focus, we want to be supported, like we've been talking about, but we also want to make a difference in this world. We want to get to the extraordinary impact level. Okay, so what can we do to get there? Really, our goal this week is to create an intentional support system. You're here, you want to get here. Who's going to help you along the way? Who's going to support you? Who's going to give you feedback? Who's going to tell you what they see? You say you're going to do something, but you're not taking any action. Who's going to call you on things? Okay, so you may want to think about 2 people you want to stay connected with in this path as you're hitting that ideal self, but you're over here. Who are at least 2 people? 2 to 5 is good. Um, Maybe there's a summer ritual you want to do with folks, just to reconnect with people. Always, one playful activity at least a week, always, especially in the summer, hopefully a lot more. Why does that matter? Play is a great brain state. It's not a judgmental brain state. It is not a negative brain state. Positive emotional brain states are our best states for the brain, especially for goal setting, hitting those tactics, feeling brave enough to take an action step toward a scary or a stretch goal. So you want to give your brain that time to relax and renew and enjoy in a playful activity. At least one person to ask for support. Best to have probably five is what the recommendation is. And then who are you going to celebrate your wins with? Like I said, for some reason, I hear the message like if something goes well, don't tell anyone, don't brag, be quiet about it. But if something's not going well, you tell everyone. So as long as that's balanced, like what's that story? What's the data behind those thoughts that we're not allowed to share when something's going well? Sometimes I learned this from Sasha Shilcutt, who runs Brave Enough. She's amazing. But she, in one of her meetings, she had like a data sheet. It's like, what is the story I'm telling myself? And then what's the data toward that story? And I love that strategy because I think that's so true. Like sometimes in my brain, it'll be like, well, what will they say? Well, who are they? So I had to write that down. Who are they? And I read that in a book one time too. It's like if you're not doing something because what they may say, well, who write down the names of who's when you say they, who is that? A lot of times I couldn't really think of too many people. So it's like, wait a minute, why is that so strong? Why is my brain telling me to slow down? And we know the brain likes to save glucose because the brain's busy. And so it doesn't want to do new things that are going to take a lot of energy or activity. So that's why we do one little thing. Like these are tiny micro goals at a time. So not so bad, right? We have to find some fun activities, find somebody who will celebrate with us, put a friend date on the calendar, spend time with your, adult friends and reflect then, after you do this, we've had 4 weeks of talking about different levels of connections. How's it going? What worked? What surprised you? What went well? What would you do maybe a little bit differently? You know, like I hear from a lot of the docs, they feel isolated and their fun level, when I say red, yellow, green, red, it's not good. It's almost at a stop, it's just not their priority to add something fun into their week. And so I had to be very intentional about this myself. I had to, by Wednesday with my husband, make sure we had at least one fun thing planned in the week. And so we're like, ooh, it's already Friday. We don't really have a plan. So we started, getting that in our week intentionally. And of course, like anything, once you do it a couple times, it's a little bit easier. It becomes habit. It's your new habit. It's your new way. So think about it. What part of support helps you thrive? And renewing relationships help our brain get in that wonderful state that we feel recharged, ready to go, energetic, bright. Energetic, that's a great word, right? That's not a lot of times what I hear when I ask women docs, how's it going? And so this week, we want to think about connecting with other people. And the reason is, as we said, we want to create an intentional support system for months ahead. And we want to honor the need to focus on what's important, build a supported circle, a growth team, an accountability group, a WAG group, as we called it, a women accountability group, so that you can change the world. We need you living fully in your gifts these days. There's a lot of challenges within healthcare and our society. So we really need to figure out what our brain needs to focus and come up with some great solutions. Okay, you've got this. So feel free to message me at thebrainfresh@gmail.com, thebrainfresh@gmail.com, and let me know what you liked about this challenge, what worked. And I'm always, right now I have openings for 2 one-on-one coachee positions, so that if you are a women doc and you're looking to have more support toward, you're not even sure what to focus on these days. You don't feel supported. You feel more isolated. You feel distracted. And it feels like work doesn't matter. You're not sure what matters right now. That unfortunately is a common state for women docs. And so in coaching on one-on-one, I've learned how to be a coach at various levels. And then I got a Hello 7 business coach certification, which was a year-long training. So I can also help women docs build businesses from 0 to 1 million. And I'm glad to walk you through that process. Why does it matter to have a different income stream as a women doc? Because we're all after more flexibility and freedom and fun, right? It's okay to look for all of those things. Life doesn't have to be a drag or feel like you only work, or you feel isolated, exhausted, distracted, and you're wondering like, when are the good days coming? That's not what we want. Today's the day, really, to put in your life what's important to you. And I was looking for the same thing at one point, and that's why I found all these resources and built a business called Brain Fresh. It's on its seventh year, but lucky seven. Later this year, it'll be seven. Um, and we've done all kind of different projects with residency projects and research project with local hospitals and a grant with well-being with residents and a project in West Virginia. So I've done a lot of different things in within Brain Fresh, a lot of talks, and now I have a free membership called Fresh Path MD for women docs, and we do these challenges once a month. So feel free to invite your friends. There's a free level. And then, there's upper levels in the membership where we have more group coaching and then one-on-one if you're looking for that. Because I know, as women docs, we really like privacy when we're growing because it feels strange, to not be the expert. We're used to being the expert. And so the one-on-one is just myself and who I'm coaching. And we sign all kind of privacy releases so that we know it's a private, I'm not going to go, it's a private place and I'm not going to go, tell my friends or neighbors what's going on with you. And so, like I said, right now I have two openings for coaches. So if you're interested, feel free to email me at thebrainfresh@gmail.com. Okay, you got this. Summer challenge. We did it. Okay, all the best. Reach out with your questions.